Alright, now for most people, their college days make up the best part of their lives. Everybody's out partying, getting drunk. I partied so hard in college, I shit Jose Cuervo for a month, and I got hepatitis. And that's all good and great, but I personally didn't get that experience, because I did a little thing called commuting to college. And boy, is that a whole different experience. You're sitting there in class with a bunch of assholes that just rolled out of bed all hungover. Bro, you going to any wicked parties tonight, bro? Bro, I'm working 6 hours at a Pizza Hut is what I'm doing tonight, bro. I didn't get to stay in a sweet dorm room. No, I stayed in a duplex that was haunted as hell. That's where I stayed. I didn't get to walk to class in sweatpants like this asshole over here. Hell, I didn't even have a car of my own. I had to get dropped off by my sister like a goddamn little kid on the first day of school. Here's your stop, loser. Have fun not getting laid. You know how hard it is to coordinate rides to school with my screwed up class schedule? All right, you can pick me up in an hour, right? Okay, cool. How about 8 hours later, can you take me to English class? I know it's 9 o'clock at night. That's not inconvenient, is it? Well, that's not gonna work in the long run. So I did what anybody would do. I took out a student loan and I bought a car. You know you have to pay this back, right? Oh, no, I don't have to pay this back. Future me has to pay this back, and I could give two fucks about future me. Now, I went to school for computer engineering at my local university. And I know what you're thinking. Computer engineering? Boy, you must have fucked up royally if your ass is drawing stick figures for a living. And boy, did I ever. You see, I didn't know what to do after high school. And when I was growing up, it was just implied that I would go to college. Okay, first you go to college, then you get your degree, then you find a job, and then you work for 30 years. And then, if you're lucky, you get to die. So when I got out of high school, I thought, fuck it. How about computer engineering? That sounds like something I could do, even though I have no background experience or even any general interest whatsoever. It's just a decision that's gonna affect the rest of my life. What's the big deal? My first college class that I attended was a calculus class, and it was taught by a professor that was not from the United States. I know he wasn't from the United States because he had an accent that I've never heard of before in my life. Where the hell is this guy from? France? Pakistan? Fucking planet Alpha Beta 17? Where the hell is this guy from? So this guy would be up there trying to teach everybody calculus, and nobody could understand what the hell he was saying because he's got this strange-ass intergalactic accent. And not only that, but he would whisper on top of it. He'd be up there like, psst, the derivatives, the derivatives, herky-durky-doo, derivatives, herky-durky-doo. I'm sitting all the way in the back of the classroom like, boy, I'm gonna be a shitty engineer if this keeps up. Excuse me, we're all just wondering what the hell you're saying up there. Future me's already paying for a car. I'm sure he doesn't want to pay you to whisper a bunch of math secrets in some made-up fucking fairy tale dialect. So needless to say, I struggled quite a bit in that class. But it was a goddamn cakewalk compared to my first programming class. Now, what do I know about programming? Well, I know how to program a microwave to make some bomb-ass Hot Pockets, and that's about it. But how hard can it be? I've seen movies. I can wear glasses and type really fast on a computer. That's half the battle. Now, it's worth mentioning that my professor of this class was an old man who apparently has been programming computers since they were the size of a fucking Kmart. Now, he definitely knew what he was talking about, but just because you know what you're talking about doesn't mean your ass is a good teacher. He would fly through the lessons at a record pace, everybody scratching their head like, what the hell's this guy talking about? What page are we on? Is this the right book? I can't feel my fucking face. Everybody's baffled in the class except for like 3 geniuses up front. I see what he's doing. You guys want to start a $1 billion business in my garage? Yeah, that sounds swell. Not only did this professor talk fast, but he would also say the word all right before and after like every goddamn sentence. All right, everybody get out a piece of paper and get ready to write, all right? All right, we got Boolean operators, all right? All right, and their true-false statement, right? All right, that's all right, all right? My fucking head's gonna explode. After a while, that's all I could hear was the word all right. I wasn't learning a goddamn thing. Everything on the board was all right. Everything on my test was all right, all right, all right. I start looking around me, and everybody's dropping out of this class left and right. Well, what the hell is my dumb microwave programming ass still doing here? The hell am I gonna do? Make a fucking better PayPal? I don't think so. So needless to say, my first year of college didn't go right. All right, that's all right. I failed both of these classes with flying colors, and I lose all my scholarships. So the next school year comes around, and I go to a little thing called community college. And let me tell you something about community college. It is different. There's all sorts of people in community college class. There's like a homeless guy in there, some chick breastfeeding a baby in the back. Anybody going to any wicked parties tonight? Bitch, I got kids to take care of. So now I'm a man amongst his peers. I did a lot better in community college. Not to mention, I also switched my major to web design because HTML is a hell of a lot easier to learn than this happy horse shit. A couple years later, I got my little bullshit web design degree, and I haven't made a website since. But you know what? It wasn't a complete waste of time because when I was in school, I took a class on Adobe Flash. And you know what you can do in Adobe Flash? That's right, make shitty stick figures. So we've come full circle. So here's to you, community college. You made me the man that I am today.
Brewstew.com.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and special thanks to all my Patreon supporters. We just started a Brewstew Discord server for all the patrons that contribute every month. So if you want to chit-chat with me and Brewer, and probably Cody and Steven, we can talk about old wrestlers or whose dad can beat up whose. Cody might be drunk half the time, so if he only wants to talk about Limp Bizkit, I apologize ahead of time.